All right. Here we go.
Hey, it's Mike.
It's Todd.
And it's Evan. Welcome upstairs to another episode of the Third Floor Podcast. It is February 11th, which means we are 3 days away from Valentine's Day. And that will be our topic of today. Do you mind?
Dude, before you tell them the topic... Oh, you just told them the topic. Well, you know what? Screw the topic. It's
Today's
your
a
birthday.
very important day.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah,
important
I
day.
guess it is. It is my birthday.
So why don't you kick us off by tearing that cupcake up?
Evan turns 46 today.
So, is this homemade?
It is
All right.
not.
It's not?
It's from Target. Okay, I want to be honest. It's from Target. My wonderful wife made them for you. And,
Are you married?
yeah, shout out to my...
Do you only
dear
eat
wife.
the icing and not the cupcake?
No. I eat the icing. I'm just trying to get the icing out of the way so I don't smush my face on
Mike,
it.
you want to join?
I guess.
I'm going to cheers you since you haven't done that.
Cheers.
Happy birthday to you, Evan.
Happy birthday, Evan.
Today we're talking about Valentine's Day, and we got some interesting love topics. This kind of works out with my voice. I don't know if you can hear it. I've got a little bit of a raspiness
You can
because
get
of
you
this.
deep enough for that, yeah. I like it.
You remember the last time we
Yeah.
ate cupcakes together?
Yeah.
I'm
The
sorry.
mini cupcakes. Remember?
Oh yeah.
The eating challenge.
Yeah, I remember that.
I whooped y'all's butt.
What kind
Oh
of
my God, yeah.
Seriously, like, did you have a
Challenge?
vacuum in your stomach?
It's just a challenge, man.
Yeah. If
Food.
you haven't seen that video, it's on YouTube, right?
It is on YouTube. It's on our
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Man, these are really good.
While you guys are chowing down,
Yeah.
I'll give you a little history about Valentine's Day.
Go ahead.
So, February 14th started in the name of Saint Valentine.
Okay.
He died around 270 AD.
Wow.
And after that is kind of when they started to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Weird, probably unknown fact. It's called Lapercalia, I think. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's a Roman tradition.
Okay.
And in this tradition of Lapercalia, there was a fertility festival.
Oh boy.
Yes. So in this fertility festival, they would sacrifice goats and dogs.
Oh boy.
And they would smack their crops with the hides of the goats and dogs. And they would smack the women with the hides of goats and dogs.
Wow.
And
I
they
can't
thought-
imagine that going over today.
Obviously not.
Okay.
They thought this would promote fertility and purification
Jeez.
in the year to come. So
Oh my goodness.
that ended in the 5th century. Thank goodness.
Sometimes you hear about these things that our ancestors did, and you wonder how humanity got to this point.
Yeah, seriously.
That's pretty messed up.
Man.
So, going forward to the presence of Valentine's Day now, it is probably what we would call the biggest hallmark holiday.
Yeah.
Meaning it's not a holiday that's not necessarily recognized by the federal government, but it's still recognized by everyone, and a lot of people take part in it either one way or another. They celebrate by giving their loved ones gifts, going out on dates, buying
Yeah.
flowers. We're all at different stages with Valentine's Day, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
You're a married man.
I
You've been
am.
dating your girlfriend for over a year, and I am single. So, like, for me personally, I have nothing against Valentine's Day, but to me, it's just another day. Like,
You got no skin in the game.
I don't know.
Unless you
okay.
want to love yourself.
I'm not that type of person.
Do you love yourself, Evan?
I love myself, but I'm not gonna go.
You don't
around
do a little
proclaiming-
self-love day?
No.
What is it they call it in Parks and Rec? Treat
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to
Treat
do that.
yourself.
Then you'll start to appreciate Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
That's my baseball trips.
There you go.
That's true. But it's not on Valentine's Day. You could order yourself some flowers, some chocolates.
What if you ordered yourself some flowers?
I'll buy
and some
myself.
chocolates.
I'll buy myself. I remember a couple of years ago when I was still working at Kroger. Coworker and I, we ordered one of those heart-shaped pizzas from Jets.
Okay. That's
We had
good.
that,
I like
so-
Jets pizza.
Oh, nice.
What if you ordered yourself some flowers and some chocolates and then you forgot? Like, what if you ordered it in December
Oh,
and forgot that you ordered it?
that's probably the way to do it.
Like, that would be pretty smart. I
Yeah.
feel like. So this Valentino person, was he
Saint
like
Valentine?
Saint Valentine. So is he the one that started this truth? Like
When he
or was it
died.
him? When he died? Okay.
Yeah, when he died is really when they started celebrating Valentine's Day.
Wow. Okay,
Due to
so
his name.
Do we know how it became the thing it is today?
Well, after they banned the Lupercalia festival traditions, for obvious reasons. It just kind of navigated into a love holiday.
Huh.
And you said this started in the 5th century, this Lupercalia, whatever it's
It
called.
ended in the 5th century.
Ended, sorry.
Yeah.
When did it start?
I think the 3rd.
It took them 200 years to say this shit's not right.
Yep.
I guess.
One of the now that's super weird.
Right.
But one of the cooler things is the oldest Valentine note was written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans. He wrote a love letter to his wife while he was
He was probably French.
he was in prison.
Oh.
So
Okay.
He's probably singing, I'm all alone.
Yeah.
There's no one here beside me.
Is that Shrek? Donkey?
Yeah, it's Shrek.
I thought so.
What episode was that? Episode 6? I don't know. Go back. Go back on
just
SoundCloud.
watch some of our.
Oh, yeah,
We
that's
got
right.
some-
Our
we got
90s
some-
episode.
Yeah.
For a second, I'm thinking, like, there's
No,
only,
that's
like,
episode 2. Maybe.
Yeah,
it
maybe.
was a while back, yeah.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought, like, there's only, like, 3 Shrek movies.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, Star Wars?
So, you kill a goat, you smack a woman, you smack your crops, and it gives you fertility.
Fertility and purification.
Like Evan said, that probably wouldn't go over in today's world for obvious reasons.
We should do an episode of outrageous
Traditions.
traditions.
Yeah.
That
Do you
would be
remember-
really fun.
Did you ever have Hartnell?
Yeah.
Do you remember his medieval torture day?
Yeah, no, he had a whole week on medieval.
Yeah, he would do, like, a whole slide, like, it was this huge, big thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you think the guillotine was a bad thing?
Oh, God.
Go back even further.
If you listen to this, he has a really good Instagram following, Hartnell University.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably one of the best teachers in
Is
Ohio.
he demented,
Oh,
though?
No, he's
no.
he wrote so much of his own material
Really?
and stuff. Yeah, it's
He actually, this past election, he ran with his brother
Oh, wow.
to teach the kids like the process
and
of
he does it every year.
how
too.
anyone can run. Basically.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
As long as you meet certain requirements.
But he has a whole week based off of torture.
Yeah.
That's...
And I know we're kind of getting off the topic of Valentine's Day here a little bit, but in all seriousness, though, I had him in 10th grade, and he did this day in history every day, like the PowerPoint slide. And the honest, like, to God teachings you would do in that class, like, of reading the material, was probably about 20 to 25 minutes out of the 45-minute period. The rest of it was, like, joking around and this day in history. But you still learned way more in those 25 minutes than you did at any point during the day, because he was just that good. He was so passionate, and people loved taking his class because you knew he was going to make it fun.
There you go.
You looked forward to it every day.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so what are some traditions that are out there? We talked about doing flowers, chocolates, cards.
Yeah.
This is really like, it's a money holiday, right? They
Yeah,
want you to
that's-
go out and reserve the nice restaurant.
Yeah.
They want you to buy the gifts, buy the flowers. I mean,
it's a very busy time for florists.
yep.
Obviously, if you go to any grocery store now, you're going to see red all up and down the cart aisles.
Oh, yeah.
For me, personally, with the chocolates,
Yes.
I'm not a fan of them because sometimes when I bite into one, I don't know what I'm going to get.
That's some scary stuff, honestly. It's like you get the fancy box, you throw the wrapper off, you're like, man, I'm so excited. This box probably cost $25 worth. You know, these are some fancy, well done chocolates. And then you bite in, you're like, what? And then you're about to vomit because you don't know what you got.
You got milk chocolate, you got dark chocolate. You may not like dark chocolate, but you like milk chocolate, but they're not labeled.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's like go to aisle 3, down 4, and this potentially could be what you get. But you may or may not have read the box key right.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're biting into like some German like rat toad. I don't know.
That's a little bit extreme, but I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Rat toad. That's the best thing my brain could come up with. Right?
It's like Harry Potter or something.
I don't know. That's probably like a dog's foot in there. It's like, I don't know. What else I'm just getting off topic. But
Are jelly beans a part
Jelly beans
of
are bad.
Valentine's Day,
yeah,
traditionally?
sort of.
Are they?
I really only think of jelly beans around
Like the Starburst kind, maybe.
Valentine's Day or Easter. That's the only time.
I would think jelly beans is more of an Easter candy.
Easter.
Like, when I think of anything candy related for Valentine's Day, I just think chocolate.
That's true.
Yeah.
Chocolate and flowers.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you rather eat an entire box of those miscellaneous chocolates, or would you rather try to force yourself to eat one of those massively overproduced, extremely large diabetic candy bars that, like, you walk down the aisle of Kroger and you're like, you actually, like, I've caught myself doing, like, you look at the thing and you're like, what the hell are we doing producing that much chocolate for one human being?
Like the Hershey bars the size of this table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like, why? First of all, we could go on a rant right now about like, oh, America's getting fat. Well, if you keep producing 2-pound candy bars, sorry, that's going to continue to be the trend.
For.
That's a different episode. That's my opinion.
So,
but what would you rather do?
So what, are we saying the size of this candy bar is 2 pounds?
Yeah, like one of those giant, massive, like, you know, super oversized candy bars.
I mean,
like the one that takes you a month to get through.
Like you could break your teeth if
you'd
you
have to eat it in like one sitting.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. In this case, I'm gonna sacrifice taste for the good of my stomach, and I'll go with one of those candy boxes. How many pieces of candy are we seeing in? Because the candies aren't that big.
32.
Okay.
32 pieces of assorted chocolate.
It seems daunting, but I feel like I could chip off a little bit of time, because it's like the bigger bar, you're just looking at it and you're saying, I'm never gonna get through this.
Right.
Like, dude, I've seriously bitten into one of those before and thought I pulled a tooth out. Like, I bite in and I'm like, okay, this is a bad idea.
Your teeth just start to like disintegrate.
Yeah. It's like, it takes me back to those days in elementary school when they show you the toothbrush video, you know what I'm talking about? It's like the monsters or whatever inside your teeth that are supposed to be plaque.
If you set down a 2-pound chocolate bar right here on this table right now, my stomach would just shut down. My stomach would send like the signals to my brain, like, do not eat this. Like, just don't. Like, I would instantly lose my appetite. I can't fathom. I like chocolate, but I cannot fathom eating that much of it.
It's too damn much. It really is.
I do the assorted also.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little pessimistic here about Valentine's Day. I think, in my opinion, it can be a good reminder to show people that you love them.
Yeah.
Now, the day itself doesn't need to be important, but I think it is a good time of the year to show people, like, hey, I care about you.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do something on Valentine's Day, but the weekend or the month or something.
It's always so hard to schedule. Like you were saying earlier, it's like you have to book the restaurant like 2 weeks in advance, if not sooner. You know, like there's all kinds of like things that you can do, but it just takes a lot of effort to like excuse me, nail it on Valentine's Day. So that, I mean, in my past, that's what I've done with Mary, is like we'll figure out something to do on the weekend. We'll go out to eat or whatever. So
I think it's just a good reminder to be intentional with people that you care about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be about the person you're dating or married to.
Right. You have family. You have friends.
Yeah.
You have pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one. Let's
if
talk
you
about
love
loving
them.
pets.
What?
Have you guys had pets?
There are some
growing
people
up?
out there that they just have such an attachment to their pets, and maybe I'm being a little bit like an asshole here, but I don't understand it. Like the honest to God like obsession like people like have over like their pets sometimes.
I think this is a good one. Did you grow up with a pet?
No.
Did you grow up with a pet?
I
Oh boy.
My first pet was a cat from hell. My mom and dad and brother will appreciate this. Smokey was our very first pet. I don't remember exactly how we got Smokey, but I just remember that Smokey was a demon cat and was like part Siamese, did not obey, did not learn, did not give a shit, and would mess up everything. So we didn't really love him at all. We kind of gave him to my uncle. My uncle lost his mind with that cat and sent it away to be destroyed.
That's a weird phrasing.
Yeah, so...
Sent the cat away to be destroyed.
We just sent it away.
We're just going to leave him over there. So, but then my first, like, official... I feel like my first official pet that actually was worth having, my dad would disagree, was Roxy. Was another cat. This is before we eventually got our dog Shadow. And so Roxy was a cat that me and my dad were actually going to a funeral in Alabama.
Jeez.
Had no idea this was happening. Came back, there's a cat. My mom and brother went and got a cat.
Mm-hmm.
So if I remember correctly, that's how it unfolded. So we were like, okay, whatever. And Roxy was good. She lived a nice long life, and then she really pissed my dad off towards the end of her life because she kept throwing up in the house. But
Oh boy.
it's okay. She was great. She used to call me a lot at the beginning days, but she, for some reason, always came to my room. She always came and like sat in my lap, and she was a good cat. And then we got Shadow. He's no longer with us either. He died of old age.
So did you love any?
I
any of
love
your
my
pets?
pets. I love Shadow the most, I think. Shadow
That was your dog?
That was our dog. It was originally my brother's idea to get a dog. He really wanted one for Christmas, and so we picked one out. And he ended up, Shadow was definitely my mom's dog. Shadow was a sweet, sweet dog. And I'll try to share a photo of him. My favorite picture of Shadow is he has a little red bandana. Since we're talking about Valentine's Day, this fits well. He has the little red bandana that just like is around his neck. And he's a toy poodle, so he's curly haired, really small. And he has one of those like biker caps on. I guess that's what you call them. I don't know. But anyways, I'll share the picture. But yeah, when you talk about loving pets, we love Shadow.
I've got 2 quick stories.
Okay, go for it.
One about a pet I didn't really love, and one about a pet I really did love.
Okay.
So when I used to live in Florida, I was walking home from school one day, and I was crossing the road, and in the grass was a turtle. I grabbed the turtle, brought it home with me.
Only in Florida.
I know, I didn't think anything of it. It was so cool. We had this like clear plastic bin. I had it for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Every day when I come home from school, I like kept it under my bed. I pulled it out, let it outside. It was great. It was a great learning experience. One day,
This is not going to end well.
it gets pretty cold in Florida overnight. Like it can in certain times of the year.
Okay.
It frosted one night, and someone had put the turtle outside. I go around the side of the house. We had a fence. I go to the back corner of the fence. There's my turtle.
Oh, shit.
Froze.
To the fence.
It's like next to the fence. Like you could tell it was trying to get out. Died. Froze. Now, I didn't love the turtle. I enjoyed having it, but I didn't love it.
Okay.
Next is about my poor Ginger. It was a little corgi.
Oh.
Had her for 14 years. I love that dog.
Yeah.
Cried when she died.
That was recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was last year.
Oh,
So-
man.
Definitely love Ginger. And it's all about the connection you have. Like,
Yeah.
what can you do with a turtle?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
You can't really connect with a turtle.
my grandparents out in Arizona have a turtle. Like,
It's just
I
there.
remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually forgot. We had a dog for a very brief time.
Really?
It was a boxer,
I did not know that.
We got it when it was Caleb wanted it.
Okay.
We were in 8th
I
grade.
also wouldn't expect that either.
And
Yeah.
I used that dog into getting my parents to give me a cell phone.
Oh.
How did that play out?
Guys, I need to walk the dog.
The
What
dog,
if it gets away? I need to call you.
The
That's
dog
great.
was.
I need to call
pure
the dog.
joy.
Yeah.
I had no interest in getting the dog, but they went ahead and got Caleb pressured them enough that they got the dog. So one day I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, I have a question for you. If the dog, we got a dog and it was mostly Caleb's idea, can I have a cell phone?" I just straight up asked her, "Can I have a cell phone?" And she said, "Yeah."
Oh, you like leveraged it. You're like,
I
he's
did,
getting
yeah.
a dog. Why
I
can't
did.
I have a phone?
I did.
It's cheaper to have a cell phone than it is
Than a dog, yeah.
Long term, yeah. I was in 8th grade at the time, and I mean, by
I
that
think
point,
you were due for a phone.
most people, at least then, had a phone.
Oh,
we
yeah.
weren't at the age of smartphones, but
Yeah.
every kid had the Motorola Razr.
Yeah, boy.
Oh boy, those.
I remember that one.
Man.
Jumped right in the ocean with it.
But Valentine's Day, another
Ugh.
part of Valentine's Day that I cannot stand, and thank goodness they're not producing them this year. Those stupid little chalky Nesco hearts, the ones that say "love you," "be mine," the cheesy lines.
Yeah.
Those are the worst candies ever.
They were really cute. Now,
so bad.
was Valentine's Day a big thing in like elementary school for you guys?
We always had like.
Because
You
we
know.
would always bring those kind of
Yeah.
candies, those little hearts,
Yeah.
and you would make Valentine's Day cards for the entire class.
Yeah.
I never got. It's like, hey everyone, you got to get a card for somebody. So it's like, "Aw, little Julie likes me," and you're like, "Oh wait, Julie got a card for everyone else in the class that says the exact same thing."
So it's not as
This
special.
is bull, man. Thought Julie was mine.
Yeah, what the heck?
Oh yeah.
So you don't like those candies?
You know, I tell you which candy I did like on Valentine's Day when I was coming up through school. This is the best one ever, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The Fun Dip.
Oh
yeah.
Boy, Fun Dip is dangerous.
So that was the one thing that everybody wanted. And it was also cost efficient too, because your parents could go out and buy one box and you get a whole strand of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a whole bunch of them. So maybe at most you buy 2 boxes. And my elementary school, we probably had about 20 kids per class, if that. And so it was relatively small. And so that would be what we would do. I remember getting the Fun Dip because that's the one I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because you would turn your tongue a different color, and then you would try to paint your teeth. Maybe that was just me, but that was me and my weird friends. And then you could chalk, and talking about chalky candy, the little stick that you chew on when you're done.
It's just a sugar stick.
Yeah. It was so good, man. That was my favorite. Other than I don't know.
Fun Dip's a good one.
Fun Dip, yeah,
That's
just
a good
one.
one.
It was really good, yeah.
That's a childhood candy if there is one. So, same with Pixie Sticks. I don't necessarily associate Pixie Sticks with
That was
Valentine's
probably a
Day.
good one too, yeah.
But to get one of those giant big Pixie Sticks when you go like the carnival.
Talk about diabetes.
Yeah. Just go like that.
Pure
Yeah.
sugar.
Can I tell you guys a dumb candy story?
Yeah.
If my friend Rex ever listens to this, last time I checked, he went to California. Rex was my very first friend in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And Rex and I had Spanish class together. Now, Rex was of Spanish descent. One time we crushed up Smarties.
Okay.
And we were dumb. And he was like, dude, we should snort Smarties.
I have a similar story.
I did it one time in Spanish class while we were watching a movie, and it was the dumbest thing because it burned so bad. And that's why I don't do cocaine.
I snorted strawberry Nesquik. Yep.
What?
Yeah. It's the same thing. You're just why
not? I mean, it's sugar powder, but
you're like, why not?
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know where kids get these ideas.
And it's a whole if you get hooked on it, that's a lot of.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there.
Yeah. It's with the
I think it's good to do that with
the
Nesquik or crushed up Smarties and not.
Well, the problem
real
with crushed
cocaine.
up. Yeah. Don't do real cocaine.
Right.
This will teach you.
Thank God no one introduced you to cocaine.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Smarties, I would have rather done what you did if I had to go back and choose and be forced to do it again.
Okay.
Because the problem with Smarties that we made the mistake of is we didn't crush it up enough.
Oh.
So it's like a chunk. And you're like, and
gee, that's pretty bad. Nesquik is like a dust.
Yeah.
Very fine.
I had a classmate who he did that one time with Smarties in class.
Just in class?
Yeah, that's what we did.
And then a week later, he's like, we were talking about something.
I did it in the comfort of my home.
We should
It's
do
like
Smarties. Look, the only thing I've done anything powdery, you know those emergency packets?
Oh,
You
straight.
put in your water. I've ate those straight before,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't sniff that crap.
I can just see you now, Mike.
Rolling up to school with my bag of Nesquik.
Just
That cocoa powder.
straight
Just on the
off
table.
the street, Mike.
Pure third grade badass over here.
Yeah, I can just see you at home, be like, freaking Susie didn't want me to take her to the
Were you
Valentine's Day
still in
dance.
Florida at the time this happened?
When I snorted Nesquik. No, I was in Columbus.
Yeah, I can just see you getting pissed off at a girl, just go home and store my Nesquik. It'll be
Yeah, I
fine.
got some Nesquik waiting for me at home.
I don't
Not
need-
to drink.
I don't need Susie. Oh my goodness.
Is there a time that you guys can remember when you fell in love with something?
Something?
If I'm going, it doesn't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot with Mary, and I don't want to be on the spot with Mel.
Yes,
but
no, yeah.
I have a moment, which I guess I can share. But I'm curious about you. Was there a time when you fell in love with the Indians or?
Oh God, yeah.
I think
Since it's your birthday, you should totally say.
Well, I think it's interesting
Something
because
about that.
there is a moment that you do it. You
Mhm.
attach to something.
Yeah.
It's like a change.
I mean, it was a while back. It was over 12 years ago, honestly, probably. The Indians at the time, 2007, they had a really good season in which they almost made the World Series. I think that's kind of when I really fell for the team. And even when they had a few rough years after that, I never lost the passion I had for them.
Yeah.
But I can't say there's a time where it's like, wow, I fell in love with this team, but
Yeah.
That's my example.
And you've loved them ever since.
We'll give another one, kayaking.
Yeah. Talked about that.
4 years ago when I fell in love with, almost 5 years ago actually, when I fell in love with kayaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was a big one there.
Was there a certain time that you went out and it just like clicked? And you're like, this feels right.
It was probably the second or third time that I went out there, because it's like you're just out there like on the water and you're in the kayak. You have like total control over the boat. Like you can go wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just that it was that peace of mind of just being kind of out there in the summertime on the calm water.
Yeah.
Really you can just kind of put your worries away for a couple hours and just enjoy life.
Yeah.
Enjoy nature.
My love story. Yeah, I appreciate you saying like not putting you on the spot about Mary or Mel.
Yeah.
I do remember whenever I was like head over heels for Mary, and that's a funny story. But I'll jump to a different one since we're on the sports topic. I played baseball for about 17 years. Was on a ton of teams. Played all the way up, even past high school a little bit, and I think I started loving baseball whenever I got like into middle school, going into high school. Like I played it in Little League, and I skipped t-ball, went straight to Little League, coach pitch, like everything like that, then kid pitch, and then you go up through the ranks through there, in the different divisions and leagues, and I just love the challenge, because baseball is the only sport where you've got to be like thinking the whole time in such a way that is like, I mean, you can add on to this, Evan, your opinion, but like, you have to strategically know what's going on in 9 different places at one time, and it's the element of the game that made me fall in love with it is the strategy behind it. So I could talk about that for a long time, but when I was pitching, that was my primary. When I wasn't pitching, I was playing shortstop, and my guy Michael Woods was my relief pitcher, and then I was his relief pitcher. We were kind of short on pitchers at our school, but
I've heard the stories you told about how many times you pitched in a given week.
Gosh, yeah, it was
way too much for a high school kid.
Yeah, we'll share that story another time. But yeah, just the team, when your team comes together, I would say that's something that triggered it for me. Whenever your team rallies and you have that it's almost like a brotherhood. Like, man, these guys got my back. Like, I made a terrible pitch, the guy crushed it, but the guy in the outfield just like saved my ass because he busted his to go make a diving catch. Like, those kind of moments are just so amazing.
Before Michael tells his story, I agree with you about the strategy part, because a lot of people just, when they see baseball, they just think it's some boring game where a pitcher pitches to a batter and then every now and then the ball is hit. There's so much strategy going on, like during the game, that people like the casual fan, or like the fan who doesn't watch baseball doesn't know about.
Yeah.
But anyway, your story.
I guess you talked about kayaking. I'll touch a little bit on like the outdoors.
Yeah.
I would go out and hike a lot. Like a couple summers ago.
Yeah.
I would just drive out to anywhere in Ohio by myself, backpack, and just walk around all day.
Sure.
I remember you doing that, yeah.
Yeah, just be in nature, and at some point, like I've said, I do want to hike the Appalachian Trail, but I was at Hocking Hills one day, and the way, it's weird, but like the way the light comes through the trees and you're walking, if it's the right weather, you find a spot and you just sit there.
Yeah.
And it's quiet, and there's nothing else around. It's just you. I made it a point to always put my phone in my backpack, like not have it on.
Absolutely.
It's a point to disconnect from everything else that you're used to.
The whole thing with like nature. Do you remember like how when we were at the Grand Canyon, how fresh the air felt?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Being up
as,
that high.
As compared to like the city air, like it was just a different feeling, and you were just, you looked out and you just, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so different than what you see every day.
Yeah.
Like even when you're driving in a city versus out in the country, it's a different feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even here, when you take like the back roads, like getting here, it's a lot different.
Yeah. That's part of the reason we moved out to where we are. So
I have to thank you though, because one moment where I did realize that I had a little bit more than just regular feelings for Mel is when we borrowed your kayak and we both went out.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story.
it's love, kind of.
Yeah, it's weird because there's a certain switch. It's like a switch gets flipped.
Yep.
And in a moment, things sort of change. It's weird.
It's funny how you have that gut feeling because for the longest time, both of you guys, even before you met Mel, you guys were trying to get me to go after her, and I'm like, guys, she's a great friend, but we would never
That's
work
pretty
out.
funny.
We would
That
never
still
work out
is.
as a couple.
Yeah.
And then
Sorry, Mel.
You would tell me.
Oh, she's doing fine.
Yeah, but you would tell me when I moved in with you guys.
Yeah.
You would tell me about it, and I'd be like, Evan, why are you not dating this chick?
Me and Michael had so many conversations like, dude, you need balls.
Yeah,
up
I
and
remember
go
that.
at it.
What do you do? And you're like, no.
No,
we're
she's
good
not
friends.
like that, man.
We're good
I
friends.
don't see her like that.
Michael should be happy that I didn't take you.
Michael's
guys.
like, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
I'm very happy. Look,
Yeah.
I got Evan's consent.
The first night that Michael met Mel,
Oh boy.
Caleb texted me like in the room. He's like, "Dude, Michael's cock blocking you." And I'm like, like cock blocking me. If I had a genuine interest in dating her, I don't. Like he can do whatever he wants.
That was so funny.
I don't have a problem. I'm over here. I'm just enjoying my beers.
There you go.
Well, hey, we're coming up on time here.
Yeah.
We want to make a special announcement. We are having a special guest, Jordan Bell, on the show on February 25th. We will put his picture and his podcast show up so you can go check it out. It's called First You Hustle. Jordan Bell is a friend of mine. I work with him, and he is actually a podcast teacher. And he's had a successful podcast here in Columbus that's on a couple radio stations. And so be on the lookout. We're going to have him like right here in the studio. Live on February 25th. And we will be recording an episode. And yeah, he's an awesome, very knowledgeable guy. We're probably going to be talking about just podcast strategies, things like that. And we have a couple of questions to ask him.
Yeah.
So Jordan, if you watch this, be prepared.
Be prepared.
So anything else for
Last
Valentine's Day?
If you don't have love out there, it doesn't mean you never will. Okay?
Yeah, seriously, guys, come on.
Yeah, always just
Thanks,
look
guys.
for it. And I don't even mean with a partner, but if you're in the dumps, it doesn't take a lot to find love.
Yeah.
In something.
As the Beatles would say, all you need is love, and love is all you need.
That's right.
There you go. Well, this has been good. Evan, it's your birthday, so why don't you give us the final shout to end this episode?
If your 46-year-old voice can do that.
Yes, my 46-year-old voice can do that because I look as young as a 26-year-old. Anyway, everybody, thank you once again for listening to this week's episode of the Third Floor Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Please be sure to subscribe. We're on social media at Third Floor Pod. When I say social media, that means Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a follow. Find us on iTunes, SoundCloud. So once again, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.